What up, reader fam? Today I am bringing you a manga haul. It's been like 3 months since my last manga haul, and I feel like I always wait for forever to film my manga hauls for some reason. And so by the time that I actually sit down and film a manga haul, I have accumulated, that is such a hard word to say, accumulated tons of manga. So that's the situation I'm in for this video as well. I have a lot of manga to share with you guys. So let's not waste any time, let's dive right in, let's talk about some manga. First up here, I've got the first volume of My Hero Academia. This story takes place in a world where superheroes exist, and if you have a quirk, you are able to attend this school where you can hone your abilities and become a superhero. But this story follows a boy who is actually quirkless. He ain't got no quirk, but he still desperately wants to become a superhero. And after he comes in contact with one of the world's biggest superheroes, he finds out that there just might be a chance where he could become a superhero, regardless of the fact that he doesn't have a quirk. I've already read this volume. I actually buddy read it with Emma from Miss Emma Reads a Lot, which I'm going to reference her a lot in this video because we've been reading a lot of manga together. So I will leave a link down below to her channel. Go check her out. She talks about a lot of manga as well. I'm a pretty big fan of superheroes, so I was already pretty sold on the concept going into this one. But what really sold me on this series was the characters. Each character had something great to bring to this first volume, and I really like seeing that. We've got good characters, we've got bad characters, and I just loved seeing all the different dynamics. And I'm really excited to see where this series goes. I have high hopes for it. Next up, I have Death Note Volume 1 and Death Note Volume 2, and these are in the black editions, which have the sprayed black edges, which I'm obsessed with. The aesthetics of this manga are on point. Each black edition actually contains 2 volumes inside, which I find super handy dandy. I've also been reading this series with Emma. We've read the first 2 volumes together, and we plan on continuing the series together because it's fantastic. This story is about this boy named Light who comes in contact with a Death Note, which is basically this notebook that has been dropped by a death god. If Light writes somebody's name in the Death Note, then that person dies. I watched the anime of this series and I really enjoyed it, but it's been a few years, so I don't remember everything that happens in this story, but it's been really nice to read this story and kind of recollect different things that take place throughout it. It's a very dark series with very fascinating characters. It's really interesting following our main character Light and seeing how he is using the notebook and how he thinks he's doing good for the world by ridding the world of all these bad people, when really he's taking people's lives into his own hands and deciding if they should live or not. So it's pretty twisted. It's a really hecka twisted story, but it's definitely one that just like grips you right off the bat. Next up, I have this One Piece bind up that contains volumes 1 through 3 in this series, and I'm honestly not sure why I picked this up. One day I just had the urge to read this manga. Like one day I watched the anime trailer for this series and I was like, ooh, that looks really interesting. And so I picked up the manga. But the thing is, this manga series is forever long. Like it's one where it just feels like it's never ending. I don't know if this series has actually come to a close yet. You guys should hook me up with that information down below in the comments. But all I know is that I'll be lucky if I finish this series before I die. But this story follows a character who dreams of being king of the pirates one day, but that dream changes a bit when he eats a gum-gum fruit, which a gum-gum fruit is apparently an enchanted fruit, and when he ate it, it gave him this ability to stretch his body like rubber in whichever direction he pleases. The only downfall is that it takes away his ability to swim in water, which is a pretty big deal for somebody who wants to become a pirate. If I end up enjoying this volume and decide that I want to carry on with this series, I'm going to be dedicating a lot of time and a lot of money to this series. Then I picked up the last 3 volumes in the Tokyo Ghoul series. We've got Tokyo Ghoul Volume 12, Tokyo Ghoul Volume 13, and Tokyo Ghoul Volume 14. This is a series that I'm pretty deep into at this point. I'm currently on Volume 8 and I am hoping to complete this series this month. So I decided to pick up the last 3 volumes so I don't have to wait when I get to this point. And I am completely in love with this series. The characters have just stolen my heart. It's supposed to be a horror manga. The first 6 volumes didn't really scare me at all. Didn't really go into like a super dark direction. I mean, it's pretty dark because it's a story about this half ghoul, half human, and there are a lot of ghoul attacks throughout this series, but volumes 1 through 6 weren't that dark. But then volume 7 came around, and that's where there's like this big shift in the series. Like it goes in a really dark direction. Volume 7 comes around and it's like, hello darkness, my old friend. This is definitely a new manga favorite for me. At least the first like 7 volumes I have loved, but I'm looking forward to finishing this series and to see how I feel about it as a whole. Then I got the last 4 volumes of BAKUMAN, volume 17, volume 18, volume 19, and the final volume, volume 20. I feel like I have been reading this series for forever. It just feels like it's never ending. That's not to say that I don't love it, because I love this series series so much. I love the characters, I love the concept of the story, but it's just taken me forever to finish this manga for some reason. I feel like it's maybe just me blocking myself from finishing it because I don't want it to end. I want it to continue on for forever. But all good things must come to an end. I'm currently on volume 16 of the series. I haven't read that volume yet, but I'm nearing the end here and it's making me nervous. I'm sad to see this series go, but I'm also really excited to finish the series and to have accomplished another manga series. And if you don't know anything about this series, it's about these two boys who come together to create a manga. We've got one who is an artist and the other who is a writer, and they join forces to write a hit manga. It explores the process of making a manga and also just the struggles of being a manga creator. Then I picked up the first volume in the Girl from the Other Side series. This is a manga that I actually saw at San Diego Comic-Con, and just the cover alone had me really curious as to what this series was all about, so I decided to just pick it up on a whim and go for it. It takes place in a world where there are two kingdoms. We have the outside and the inside. The outside is where all the beasts live, and the inside is where all the humans live. And this unlikely friendship forms between a beast and a girl, and I believe their friendship causes a bit of conflict between the two kingdoms. I believe it's supposed to have a fairy tale vibe to it, but it also just looks really dark and twisted, so sign me up. Then I picked up Delicious in Dungeon, and this one has a rather weird concept, which I'm hoping that it's going to be more of a humorous manga. It's about this group of adventurers who get attacked by a dragon and they lose all their money, all their food, and even a member of their squad. And so in order to survive, they decide that they are going to fix these gourmet meals using monsters. That's literally what I got from the description, but for some reason, this series just had me really curious, so I had to pick up the first volume and just see what this story is all about. Because like the description doesn't reveal that much, it just reveals that they make meals out of monsters, and like there's gotta be more to the story, right? But like I'm mostly just hoping for lots of humor with this series, but we'll see. The last thing that I picked up is a full series, and that is the A Silent Voice series. This is one that Emma raves about a lot, so I'm really excited to read this one. I mean, clearly I picked up the whole series. I had a gift card, okay? Don't judge me. I caved, I'm weak, I realized that. I'm gonna go through and show you each manga from this series. Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, and Volume 7. This series actually kind of seems really sad. It's about this girl who gets bullied to the point where she has to leave her school and transfer to another school, and she's also deaf. So I think we kind of see her experience being bullied, but then we jump forward 6 years and we see this reunion happen with the girl who was bullied and the bully himself. And the bully really wants to make things right. He wants to see her and apologize and try to fix things, but it might be a little too late for that. I can already tell that this one is going to play with my feels. Any kind of bullying in books always just gets me, so I'm gonna have to mentally prepare myself for this one, or I'll just be crying my way through it. So that's the manga that I've picked up in the last 3 months since my last manga haul. You guys should let me know down below in the comments if you have read any of the manga that I mentioned in today's video and what you thought of it, but also just hook me up with some manga recommendations because I'm always looking for new manga to read. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos frequently on this channel, so if you want to be notified as to when I post new videos, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and click the little bell icon and you'll be notified as to when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, chew.